Siyata Dishmaya. We're going to start the first year about the Isur of Stam Yeinam, the prohibition of ordinary wine. Stam Yeinam. Of Goy. So I want today, Bezrat Hashem, to go into the Svarot, to the details, the few opinions in the Rishonim. What is the exactly decree of Noisayim and the nafkamina between them? The nafkamina between the reasonings. And we have Maaseh, a big machloket between Sfardim and Ashkenazim. Okay? A very big machloikes. Aloch el about wine of goyim, ordinary wine of goyim. I'm going to a wine store. Can I buy a gift to someone, to a goy, a whiskey that was in barrels of wine for 18 months, has a taste of the grapes and the taste of berries and this and that. My cherries. Can I buy it as a gift to somebody else? That's number one. Can I collect my debts from it? Can I get pleasure from it? What about drinking? Can I drink it? The old Takona's bottle today or not? We're going to see the details about it. So we're going to have to go into the Rishonim well to understand each opinion, what they hold. We're going to make groups of rabbis, of reasoning, of opinions. And then we have to look to la halacha, what's the difference in la halacha. So this will be the shir today with the help of Hashem. I want people to learn it well. There's a lot of material. I gave out the material. It's here, 2 pages, actually 4 pages, 4 pages we gave out. No, it's all not new. It's old. It's old. Okay, so we're going to make the groups, put the points out, and see the difference in the halacha between the Sfardim and Ashkenazim about it. And Bezrat Hashem, beginning of next week, I want people to finalize it and summarize it. But next week's shir will not be on this; it will be the next sugya. Okay, but wasn't enough time this week really to finish the material, but there's enough there to know the fundamentals. And the rest, the next few days, you have to finalize it. So with the help of Hashem, we're going to start with the Mishnah, page 29b. 29b. Haftet Amud Bet, 29b. The Mishnah says, guys, some mates that came in today, he did rebel. Okay. Ganitsky was in the wedding yesterday because he came today. He came and the rebel, I didn't see rebel in the wedding yesterday. We thought he would definitely come. What? So this one, very good. Okay, B'siyata D'Shmaya. Everybody is ready, or is the Gemara? I want to go on and go through the Shitot Rishonim, as I said, with the help of Hashem. Summarize it in Eliyahu. If I ask you, can I give my friend, family friend sometimes, or family, which allowed to drink Islam Yainam, can I give them something that they get benefit, they owe me a favor, give them a gift, I can collect my debts? Okay? Those are the questions we're going to have on the table. The Maisa, Loch La Maisa. There's a difference in Ashkenazim and Sephardim, and there's details about it, how much we make them. Okay? We have to learn the reasonings and understand where it comes from. This is our goal today. The Mishnah. Eilu dvorim shel goyim asurim v'isurim v'sorano. Which are the things that belong to goyim? Things of goyim. What are things of goyim? Probably owned by goyim. Eilu dvorim shel goyim. Which are the things that belong to goyim, of goyim, in the hands of the goyim? Okay, in the dominion. Normally, the word "shel" means belong to. Eilu dvorim shel goyim. Which are the things that belong to goyim? Asurim, that prohibit. The isuron and the prohibition is to the level isurano, prohibition of benefiting. Ayayin, wine. V'achoimetz, ayayin, the wine. Ayayin, the wine. V'achoimetz, and the vinegar. Shel goyim, the wine and the vinegar of goyim. Shohoyo mitchiloso yain, the beginning was wine. So something which was wine or vinegar that was started as wine is part of the list which are prohibit, and are prohibit of benefit. You don't have to have any benefit. Rashi, I'm reading Rashi. Shohoyo mitchiloso yain, beginning was wine. Biyad goy, in the hand of the goy. La'afuka, to exclude. Eichad dazapin goy chometz misoy, where to exclude a case where a goy buys wine from a Jew. Deloy mitzar ma'ano is not being prohibited with pleasure, benefiting. The time of the Yisrael ano mishum dilma naschiu. The reason why vinegar of a goy that was wine in the hands of a goy, you're not allowed to have benefit from it because maybe he poured it in front of an azar. The choimetz, vinegar that the goy received it as a vinegar and was wine in the hands of a Jew, lo yimenasech, and now that he gets in his hands, he's not going to do nisuch, pour it in front of an Avodah Zarah, because vinegar is not honorable, is not honored enough for them to do nisuch for it, with it. What? Rashi. Rashi saying pshat that when it says choimetz of goy that was wine in the hands of a goy, but to exclude when the wine was in the hand of a Jew, in order to receive it as a vinegar, that vinegar is not also. Which means Rashi says which vinegar the Mishnah prohibited that was a beginning wine in the hands of a goy, but the vinegar that was wine in the hands of a Jew then came to go as a vinegar. There's no decree to prohibit. Why? Rashi says because the only reason we prohibit is we might pour it for Avodah Zarah. So when it was wine turned vinegar, at the time when it was a wine, he poured it for Avodah Zarah. But if the wine was the hand of a Jew and received the goy as a choimetz, as a vinegar, there's nothing more to worry, because you don't pour vinegar in front of Avodah Zarah. This is Pshat in the Mishnah. And we want to know, it says the wine, ayayin, mashma, wine that a goy owns. And Rashi even said more so. Rashi says, maybe Dilma Nasche, maybe he poured it in front of maybe he used it as a service. Maybe. Dilma. So, we're not talking about Yain Nesech Mamash, that we know, we have a yediyah, we have knowledge that they poured in front of the Zohar. Rashi used the language, maybe, Dilma, maybe. Maybe means that we don't know, we worry. So the number one we have to note According to Rashi, it's a maybe. Now, which maybe? Maybe as a suffix, as a doubt, or maybe as a chashash. And you need the rabbis to worry for that. Rashi, in page 31, Lamed Aleph Amud Aleph says, Rashi says, Stam Yeinom Osu Manor. Ordinary wine is prohibited with pleasure. So Rashi says, and Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Aleph, if you open Rashi, Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Aleph, the first line on the page, Stam Yeinom Osu Manor, Umetam Etumas Mashkim Revis. Ordinary wine is prohibited with pleasure. Rashi says, why? Mishum, because I'm reading the Rashi Lamed Aleph, page 31a on top. Mishum Gzeiras Yain Nesech. So Rashi says, the reason why we prohibit ordinary wine of Goyim, because of the decree, Gzeiras. Decree means rabbinic. It's not a chash d'oraisa. Maybe it's Yain Nesech. It's not a worry of the Torah, maybe it's Yain Nesech. No. Is Gzeiras Yain Nesech is a decree of the rabbis, maybe, or if you will be lenient here, you be lenient on Yain Nesech, but Rashi says Gzeira of Yain Nesech means because of Yain Nesech. And Rashi enough, Choftes tells us maybe. So you would say that the rabbis made a decree because it's maybe Yain Nesech, the rabbis, which means, we see clearly from Rashi, that the level of the worry that maybe it's Yain Nesech, he need the rabbis to intervene. It's not a suffix d'oraisa. We have to go to Chumrah. So I don't need the Gzeira. I don't need Gzeira. Must be that it's not, that it's less than 50%. What is it? We don't know. 40%, nothing, miuta, not even shchiach. And Chachami made a Gzeira. But Rashi says the Gzeira is, we have two things we learn from those two Rashis. Number one, we see that the doubt maybe was Yain Nesech is not a suffix d'oraisa, because in the Falemanev he says it's Gzeira. Number one. Number two, which is very important for us, and really is number three here in a second. Number two, that the Gzeira, why the rabbis worried maybe was Yain Nesech, is because this may be Yain Nesech. That's it. We'll see other explanations. Like, for example, I'm saying is that because we didn't read yet other opinions, but one of the opinions which I'll point out in order to make the Rashi more clear what I'm saying. For example, the Ran brings down that the reason why the rabbis prohibit Stam Yeinom, because wine. This is wine that also b'shtia, and other wine of Yain Nesech, realize also b'shtia. And there is also mano. And if you're going to permit wine of Stam Yeinom, with ano, people will come protect. People will come to drink also Yain Nesech, real Yain Nesech, another drink. We'll get benefit from it. So in order to protect Yain Nesech, real Yain Nesech, Chachomi made a decree on Stam Yeinom. From Rashi we see not so. Rashi in Daf Lamed Aleph and Rashi in Daf Chovtes, we bind them together, we come out, not only is that a suffix d'oraisa, rather than as a chash d'Rabbanon, but the chash d'Rabbanon, because they worried maybe it was the Yain Nesech, not to protect Yain Nesech. Maybe this Yain, Til Menasche. As some Rishonim says, and the rabbi saw that many people do Yain Nesech, so they worried for it. It's a chash maybe, not to protect Yain Nesech. Chash here. One second, I didn't say the Ran yet. We're not yet in the Ran. I just point out the Ran to understand what I'm saying, Pshat and Rashi. Now, we have 1 second. The Chaim, he spoke 3 times, and I didn't give you the chance to speak. Now you can speak. Yes, you got it. Shash Doraisa, right. But Chachomim worried for Doraisa. Maybe Doraisa happened here. No. It's not Safek Doraisa. It's a Chashash Doraisa. It's not Safek Doraisa. Big difference. Safek means 50%. We have a rule. Safek Doraisa Lechumra. Chashash means is only 10%. And without the rabbis feeling that this 10%, although it's only 10%, but it's very dangerous 10%. So for some other reason, they worry the chashash of the oraisa. It's called chashash. Gzeira of the chashash. They made a decree, chashash maybe was yain esek here. 10% can, yes, or whatever percent is, so they worried for it. But with Tzad Oraisa, I don't have to worry. Without the rabbis, I'm not worried. Maybe it's not so, because it's not in the percentage-wise, according to the rules of the Oraisa, we don't have to worry for it. This is on Rashi. But there's a third point we see from Rashi, which is this will be an opening for the whole sugya. This is a very major, yes, Uriel. That's the next step. איפה כתוב בשבולותיהם במשנה? אבל איפה במשנה כתוב? טוב, זה לא כתוב במשנה. אנחנו מדברים רש"י, לא יודע תוספות. מדברים על רש"י. נכון, אבל בחומץ הוא מגלה שביין נסך זה דילמה נסחי. אז רואים מרש"י, שאם זה יין, הבעיה הוא דילמה נסחי. מה? אבל אני מבין מתוך דבריו, זה הקש, אני מקיש מתוך דבריו, שכיוון שהוא אומר שאם היין היה אצל הישראל, אין מה לחשוש מסתם יינה מי אולי הוא ניסח את זה, כי זה חומץ, הוא קיבל את זה חומץ, אבל אם זה היה יין בידו, מי אמר לך את זה? אבל רש"י הוא חי 50 שנה לפני תוספות. כשהוא כתב את זה, זאת לא היה חי בכלל. חכה, בואו נראה דף ל"ו, אמרתי, זה הדבר השלישי שלי ברש"י. עכשיו נגלה לכם סוד, שאנשים לא יודעים את זה, זה חידוש שאני אומר אותו, אבל הוא פשוט לי, מה שאני אגלה לכם עכשיו. תקשיב, הוא הכיר, עכשיו נלמד, בשביל זה אתה באת לשיעור. למה באת לפה? דברים שאתה יודע, אתה לא צריך לבוא אליי. דברים שאתה לא יודע, אני אגלה לך אותם. תקשיב. דף ל"ו עמוד ב'. תפתח דף ל"ו עמוד ב'. Open page 36b. Gufo. 3 lines on the top. 36b, 3 lines on the top. Omar Bali, Omar Avini, Noiso Mishmei Derav. Piton, their bread, the Shimnon and the wine, Yenom. Sorry, made a mistake in my translation. The Shimnon, the oil, Yenom, the wine, Upnoiseim and their daughters, Kulon, Mishmona Sardovo. Hey, all of them are part of the 18 Gzeirot of the students of Shammai and Hillel. The students of Shammai and Hillel, they made 18 Gzeirot, and part of the Gzeirot was this list. Bread, oil, wine, and the daughters of Goyim, all of them, we keep away and they prohibit it. The Gemara goes on to explain the whole page, each thing. Daughters, Noisei Mai. Goes who am noisem nidois marisoson. Gnive shel Rav Omar kulam shel Avodah Zarah goes who. Okay. The Gemara says Elo. I'm going to jump 5 lines below Elo. Al piton v'shimno mishum yainam. The Gemara explains bread and oil. They made a decree because of the wine. And why you're not allowed to drink the wine? Val yainam mishum noiseyim. You're not allowed to drink the wine because of their daughters. Ab noiseyim mishum dovar acher, because of Avodah Zarah. Dovar acher means don't seclude with a goy, a baby goy, mishum dovar acher, because you might do homosexual. Okay. We have a Rashi here, and this Rashi revealed to us the third barometer, the third sela, and this triangle. Mishum yeinom, 4th line from the top. Again, why they prohibit bread and oil? Because of their wine. And why you're not allowed to drink the wine? Because of their daughters. Rashi says, Shayayin boyerbo. When you drink the wine burns inside of him, burns. Boyerbo. Umayvio, who will bring him lidei bnoiseyim, to marry their daughters. The Gemara goes on, which daughters? The whole page. What exactly in details they say, which you guys have to learn. But I don't want to spend the time right now to lose the hour we have on this B'siyat L'Shmai. Listen. So what do we got from this Rashi? Oriel, you asked me a question. Page 36. The Gemara says that you're not allowed to drink the wine of Goyim because of what? You're not allowed to drink the wine, or you're not allowed to derive benefit from them. Stop. I'm asking Uriel, according to what you see in Rashi. Uriel, page 36b. So think. Mishum yeinam, shayayin boer bo, the wine burns in it. The wine burns when I see wine or when I drink the wine? When the wine burns in it. Oh! Give me more, right? But if you don't drink it, you just see it in your friends. It gets you depressed. You know, I want that barrel, I want that wine there. Where's the glass? Mishum yeinom shayayin boer bo. The yayin is burning in him. Means he drank the wine, and the wine burning in him is going to marry the daughters. But if he sees wine, he wants to collect wine, he wants to give gifts to wine, he's going to marry the daughters? Maybe yes. You can have a relation with him. No, Rashi says, because when the wine is burning by him, when the wine burns, you can go after his daughters. When wine doesn't burn, oh, hush your daughters. Good. So therefore, there's no connection between the sugyas. The sugya, page 36, when the Gemara says they made a decree on wine because of their daughters, talk about what? Drinking. And here we talk about pleasure. Why don't the right pleasure? Because maybe they did yain nesech. Maybe they did yain nesech. So lichoiro, there are 2 separate Gemaras. You hear Uriel, Shamata? So again, now you can ask your question, if your question still stands. What's your question? Why Rashi, I will repeat your question. You asked me why Rashi says in our Mishnah, page 29b, that the reason why we cannot benefit from yain nesech, because maybe you pour, and at page 36, maybe it is ulai nisnasech, and at page 36 it says that the reason because of the daughters, right? So the issue of yain is because of noiseyim, and here it says because maybe you're menasech Avodah Zarah. What is the reason? It's just two different things. Then we talk about wine burning in you, and that's why you can go after the daughters, as Rashi says. So don't drink. Don't drink wine of goyim or with goyim, because when you're going to drink the wine will burn. Shayayin boirbo will come unto the daughters. That's the reason of yain, of not to drink. And here we talk about the different isu. The Mishnah says, which are things which belong to goyim, which are also Bisham Isil prohibit, because of the daughters, the isur and isur ano. There's another added isur of ano, and Rashi says maybe of nisur. Two different things. There we talk about yain toirbo, wine burning in you. You're always saying not to drink it because you're going to drink the wine burning you, run after daughters. And then we talk about elu dvorim shegoyim asurim, which are things belonging of goyim which are prohibited. Wine of goyim are prohibited. Page 36 says it's a part of the 18 things that you cannot. It's also you cannot drink it. The isurim, but the rabbi said, you know which isur we added to it? We added another isur of ano. The question is, and this is really where the shiur starts. The question is, according to Shitas Rashi, the isur of not drinking because the wine will burn you and you run after the daughters, and the isur of ano because she might pour it Avodah Zarah. Is it one isur or two isurim? Two isurim, two separate isurim. Is it one based in or two different based ins? Let's say one based in. There's Talmud Shama v'Yisrael. Here it's another Mishnah. Two different things, two different sugyas. No connection, no connection. Yes. Very good. If you cannot derive benefit, means because maybe they are in the Zohar, so surely you can't drink it, right? Must be. Very good question. Must be that there's Talmidei Shama v'Hillel earlier, and years later, this Mishnah is after Beisham v'Hillel. After the 18 Gzeiros, Beisham v'Hillel was the early Tanoim. Was the first Takone, and then later on, this Mishnah came, and another Gzeir of Chazal. And it came later. Who says this? The Rashbo, the Meiri, they learned. So we're going to moichiach from Shitas Rashi that the Rashi holds three things. We have now three slaot of a triangle. Number one, we see from Rashi that is a Chash Doraisa. Not a 50% maybe is Yaines. Number two, it's not a Chashash. It's not a Sofek Doraisa. It's a Chashash of Doraisa Midrabanon. The rabbi is worried. That's what we see the Flamed Aleph. Number two, that the Chash of the Doraisa is maybe this is Yainesech. And not to protect Yainesech, or not because called the Rabbon can Doraisa Tikkun, like we see in the Rabban other we're going to learn soon. There's many other options. No. Rashi, Shitas Rashi is that the time of the Gzeira was Gzeira Rabbanon, the Choishesh of the Rabbanon, the rabbis were Choishesh, maybe this specific Yain was Nisnasek. Number three, we see that the Gzeira of Talmidei Shama v'Yisrael was a Gzeira on Shtia, that don't drink because wine will burn you, burn. Ivar boy, and then we'll run after daughters. So Rashi Daf Lamed Vav on the base. Doesn't say in the Gemara that, but Rashi was mechadish. Yain was going to say because a yain means drinking wine, want to burn you, running after the daughters. That's a gzeira of shtia, and here's a different gzeira of ano. But you have a question. Ano includes shtia. Must be that ano came after shtia. Beisham v'Yisrael was always saying shtia. Mishum lo yisei will burn you. And afterwards they made another decree. They saw there was a lot of yain nesech, so they were goyzer for Tilma. Maybe it was yain nesech. A big enough kamina. We found Chuvas of Rashi. Shitas Rashi, brings the Rashban quotes his grandfather Rashi. That Rashi quotes the Goinim, and Rashi follows his opinion. There's a big argument in the house of Rashi between Rashi and his grandchildren, Rabbi Nutam and Rashi. Rashi and his son-in-law and a grandson. Grandson's Rashban, son was Rabbi Nutam. The Rashi held. He had a Kabbalah from the Goinim that the Christians, the Goyim in Europe, don't worship anymore Yain Esech, only in front of the Galach and Misa, whatever they do there. But all the rest, they don't get involved. It's only the priest that speaks Greek. Blah, 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 blah. Don't even say what, they don't know what he's saying. And he come into the Sunday thing, but all the rest, they don't menasech yain bechlal. And therefore, Rashi said, that today, there's no worry of yain nesech anymore. Not magoin if they touch our wine, and not even stam yainom. The whole takana is canceled. Which takana? There's one takana that if it's half broken, so the other half still puts it up, or if half's broken, the whole thing falls off. We'll see soon. Machlokes is showing him in that, but Rashi's definitely not that camp. Rashi's with the camp that learns like the Rashba and the Meiri. There was two gzeiras, and one gzeira was after the first gzeira. So if the gzeira of the worry of stam yeinam avot, you might maybe the rabbis were choishes kshash doraisa. The worry maybe was nisnasech. They don't do nisnasech anymore, so there's not worry about the nisnasech. So therefore, that gzeira is bought to have to know. Even though every time when Chacham made a gzeira, who says if the reason falls off, the gzeira falls off. We need a minyan. The Rishonim all answer his question. They give answers. We'll see the Rishonim inside. Right? Or the decree was only on the menaschim, not on the wine, or was it really, or really they only because they worry of the time. And once the time bottled, they all agreed originally that the Easter will never be forever. There's a lot of tirutzim. I'm sure you give an answer. But whatever it is, I just want to make camps here. My goal today in the shiur is to make order and camps between the different opinions and what's enough coming in the halacha and the the reasoning. All the rest you guys have to grind inside. It's not a material. It's all written inside what I'm saying. My chidush, shitas Rashi is my chidush, but in those camps are not my chidush. I'm just putting Rashi in the camp of the Rashba. Because Rashi shitos, Rashi that says in the name of the Gonim, that what? That today that they're going in Europe don't anymore pour wine in front of Avodah Zarah. So you have a pure Rashi. Rashi that said that the Kseg in Aflamed Vov, page 36, says what? Wine, don't drink, because we'll be burning in you. And married Ibn Yisayim, it's a Kseg of Shtia, and that never finished. There's always burning. The wine still burns. And the wine, if you drink wine right after the door, it still stays. The Kseg stays. But the second takana, which we decide is later, because otherwise not needed. Something is later. Second takana of don't get the right benefit because the rabbi's worry maybe Shema nisnasech. Rashi says, not here in Tshuvos, Rashbam, his grandson, quote his grandfather Rashi, that says that today in Europe, the Christians, talking about most of Europe those days were Catholics. There's no Protestant even those days. Catholics and those type of goyim. He says all of that junk is out. They don't do anymore yain nesech, and therefore there's no chash. There's no reason of chash rabbanon dilma maybe a menasech. Yes, Rabbi. Because if they have two reasonings, and the second reason includes the first, I don't need to have two takonas. That's a logic kasha. If it came after, it's already using because. That's already you have to say. Rashi didn't say that. Rashi didn't say. Rashi says dil manasche. You worry gzeiras yainesech dil manasche. That's what we have. We have only Rashi lamed aleph, Rashi choftes. We put together. Maybe a menasech and it's a gzeira. Gzeiras yainesech. Rashi didn't say gzeiras noiseyem. So he can't say one gzeiras, two gzeiras, two timing. But he said in Lamed aleph, he says that's the definition. Stam yeino mishum gzeiras yainesech. Ano, right? But it's included. Ano, drink is included. Ano. So it's all there. What? So you want to say Rashi's like Tosfot, that the Siva Molida was really B'nai Seyem, and they said I will be on Ishtia, but because it's doing with the Yanesech, for some reason we're going to see what's doing with Yanesech. So what's always doing with Yanesech? So we want to protect Yanesech. Or Tosis and Shabbos says because there's doing with Yanesech, and some people wore Menasech even out in front of the Galach, not of the Goyim. So they also Yanesech. So what will be if Rashi tells us? We know Rashi now, right? Rashi tells us that today in Europe the Goyim are not Menasech Yain Avodah Zarah. This is my trick now. Now you got your question is such a beautiful question because now I know. Now you will know why I'm not saying what you're saying. Because it won't fit Rashi and Shitosoi. Rashi says that today going Christians do not Menasech Yain Avodah Zarah. Good. But what was the Ikar Tam? One was Moili the other. One was the father that gave birth to the other. Shtia. So even though the Oisofa, the minority is bottle, who says it should be bottle? The Gzeira should be bottle. If it's one Gzeira, what? No. Rashi says he can benefit from it. Benefit. I'm asking. But if, no, one second. Let's relax. If the Ikar Tam is there, the Ikar Tam is there, and the Oisofa it's out today, and it's one Gzeira, I would say it still stays. That's a Svara. It's not my Svara. It's the Rosh. We'll see soon. Hashem give us the Bocha. The time I'll show you in the Rosh. The Rosh has this, and he gives an answer. He wiggles out of it because the Rosh runs like Toisus. We'll see in a second. So because of that, we got a Chiddush in Rashi. That Shitas Rashi is in the camp of what? You understand, Eli, what we're saying? Shitas Rashi is in the camp of Zwei Gzeiros, two Gzeiros. First Gzeira of burning, wine burning in you, is yain drinking. Don't drink because you might marry the daughters because the wine will burn in you. That's Gzeira Shtia. And the Gzeira, another Gzeira, separate Gzeira, you have to say after. So saying that I don't need both. The second Gzeira was that do not derive any benefit from it because she might. Why? Gzeira Yain Nesech. And Rashi says why? Because Dilma maybe the Menasech. There's a real chashash. Not a chashash Savri Doraisa. But the rabbis were choishish that maybe this specific yain is maybe nisnasach l'Avodah Zarah. What? Yes. Right. Right. Good. First, we asked the question: what about beer and schnapps? You'd be surprised. We didn't learn that yet. We'll learn future. Many people don't know this halacha. Many people don't know what I'm going to say right now. That you're not allowed to drink beer and wine and schnapps in the bar of goyim. The Rambam says it's halacha. You know that? Many people don't know that.
That's if they have wine also in the tap.
No, not true. You're making it up. It's your dream. It's the same idea. You marry the daughters. Beer and wine, something's mekarev. So if they're mesiba, together with them, you're not allowed. The Rambam says halacha. People don't know this. It's halacha.
But if you drink one beer,
when I went with the boys to Europe, I went with the boys with to what you call to Georgia. So we went to a bar to drink beer, but nobody was there. It was 3:00 at night. Everybody sleeps at 10:00. The beer bar, nobody was there. So I took the whole bar myself. I sat with the boys. We were drinking. I couldn't barely drink the beer. It was a strong beer of Georgians, it was a tough beer. And but they were drinking happy. I told them, you're not allowed to drink beer with a bar of going. It's Mekarev, you're not allowed.
but beer is not bar.
Or should maybe holds it la loch, but the Rambam holds it like this. What?
It's not
yes.
like the wine that boil. You drink one beer, it's okay. It's not like the
He
wine.
probably never drank beer. Okay, you didn't drink enough beer last night, everyone. Okay. Okay, guys. Let's go back to us. So we got Shitas Rashi. Now let's go through Tosfot for a second. And we're going to see Tosfot. Now next in line we have Tosfot versus Ran and Ramban. Those are the three major opinions and some differences in it. And we're going to start dealing with each one of them, how they hold today. If they can hold what Rashi himself, and we said Rashi Boin Miri, and that camp. So we finish with the camp of Rashi, Rashi Boin Miri, and that camp. Now let's see the other camp. All what I'm saying, you have to guys learn it inside. I just don't have enough time now to read it through, but you have to read it through inside. Toisus. Yain Minolon. Yes, Rabbi. Yes. According to that Rashi today, Goyim are avoid Avodah Zarah, but they worship Avodah Zarah through wine only on Sunday in church, and the Galach does it. Not at home. People are not religious barely. They merely go to Sunday. It's a thing of the priests, nothing with them. Not around. You lived in America. You ever saw Goy Menasach Yain? You never go to a church. You never saw in your life. I'm not talking about Asia. I said Europe, Christians. Asia is a different story. Asia is a different story. Asia is much worse. To be really careful. Right. Yes. Good. Tema, but most of the Jews lived in Europe. So that was a shame. Okay. Yain minolon. Tema, Tosis asks. Tema. My kaboy minolon. The Gemara says, how do I know what wine is also? And the Gemara brings psuki for yain nesech. As Rashi says in the beginning of the Gemara, af yain also shenisnas elav dazor. So, but real yain nesech. Tema, my kaboy minolon. What's the Gemara's question? How do I know? Omas nisin my. Behold, our mission is talking about bestam yainam, ordinary wine. The gzeira derabononi. It's a rabbinic decree. Shegozru al yeino mishum noisayim, and made a decree on the wine because of the daughters. Assumption. Toisa says that since the Gemara, our Mishnah talk about ordinary wine, because the wine doesn't say wine in Yainesech. All wine, even Yainesech, stam yeino. Their wine. No, when I give a list of things, I can say the wine, hayayin. Yes. It says the word hey, the. What is the wine? Hayayin. Oh, so Rabbi Gavriel brought a eye against you. Because in the list is brought down also other things which is no particular. Achartzoni v'azagim. No. The word hey can be two options. You chosen one option, which is a simple option. But there's another option. The word hey means when you give a list, you say this and this and this. The hey can be a klal that connects, right? Yain, azeg. You give a list of things. You say each category, the category. The hey goes under the category and not the famous one. So you see from the list that the hey goes on the category. Okay. It's a good question. I give you a good answer. Okay. So Toisa says, Teima, my kamiboy minolam. What's the Gemara's question, minolam? O masnisin mayri, the Mishnah is talking about bestam yeinam, ordinary wine. The Gzeira Darabononi is a decree of the rabbis. Shegozu al yeinam shum noisem. They made a decree on wine because of the daughter. So, what really? Toisa's question is a couple assumptions. Number one, the Gemara says yain minolon, and the Gemara, from the answer of the Gemara, we see that the question is yain nesech minolon is also. He says, what have to do with our Mishnah? Our Mishnah do with ordinary wine, and the Gemara, page 36, Yehel, talking about ordinary wine there. The Gemara says you're not to drink the wine because of the daughters. He does say drink. He says they made a decree on the wine because of the daughters. It doesn't say drink. Rashi add burning and daughters. Says they made a decree on the wine because of the daughters. So it's including what also no. So Stam Yainom, the reason why you're not allowed to have any benefit from Stam Yainom because of the daughters. So what the Gemara brings down Yain Nesech. It's not with Yain Nesech. It's with daughters. Keep away from daughters. Don't drink, don't have any benefit. Like the wine of going don't even derive benefit. Keep away, because you might marry the daughters. Don't come close. What? Don't do business, keep away, yes.
Maybe the reason that they're gonna get married with them, they're gonna do Avodah Zarah at the end. There is certain
Opposite. Says the Yesod of Avodah Zarah is to do arayas. Opposite. Say the Yesod of Avodah Zarah because you're going to do arayas.
doing with them.
That's the goal. We prohibit marriage because of bringing Avodah Zarah. But when the man drinks and all that, he doesn't want Avodah Zarah. He wants the girl. So you don't care. The girl wants Avodah Zarah, but he wants the girl. The girl is the goal. Avodah Zarah is the goal. Different goals. And the Goy Mivilna says, that's why he says, Asheratem zonim acharem. Why always the Torah uses the word snus? We're talking about Avodah Zarah. You zoine after Elilim, zoine, snus. We're talking about snus. Because the Goy says that the Yesoid of Avodah Zarah is snus. I was in India a couple of times, and I heard this going, and I searched. I wanted to see, where's the snus around beside an Avodah Zarah. So I was in this hotel and they had a big television, and the area there was some kind of a holiday festival. I was tired and I said, I must see through the screen where's Avodah Zarah. And I'm waiting for half an hour. My wife says, what are you doing? I says, no, I need to find something out. I'm watching, and sure enough, I see some women in the side starts dancing, and slowly came other men dance with them. Now the Indian in general are very modest people, but that's where the point says. Says I understand the Goy Mivilna. Emeslan Mitra. Even nowadays, says Hashatim Zoinim. They want to hefker. They make all those festivals. They call. It's the hefker. It's involved. People go to churches because no mechitza in the church. And the women sing. Woo! Yeah, I had a lot of guys that came to the Yeshiva. It told me that one of the reasons they left the church because their wives were part of the orchestra of the singing of the church. And everybody, when she was around with all those guys, said down deep, you know why he left Christianity? Because Avodah Zarah was a bother because the Jews went against him. Because were for him and run. Went against him, he ran away. Baruch Hashem, he found after the truth. But the trigger point was the snus that went against him. I heard from a couple of people.
Also about there was like that. They say, first of all, they want to be with me.
Right. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go back. So what do we got? Toysa says a question. Why the Gemara's kashi is minolon? How do we know wine means the issue of wine as if to be is yain nesech? That's the worry. Like Kashi says, dilma yain dilma menasech is a problem of yain nesech. In Gemara page 36, like right away, Uriel asked me, what do you mean? And page 36, it says the gzeira is stam yain of mishum noiseyim. Don't do whatever the Zarah. Daughters is the girl of the Zarah, maybe. It's the girls, not Avodah Zarah. Two different things. Yenam bishum noisem. Wine because of the daughters. And our Gemara says wine minolam they bring Avodah Zarah. Two different things. So why now we have a Gemara here that speaks about Avodah Zarah, which page 36 it says tam yenam is osu because of the daughters. So Toises makes a chiluk. We have to be very exact, and Toises was enough. Keminu be today the bisman hazeh. Yeshloima. The vada is surely Ika Gseira, the main Gseira of Chazal, the Stam Yenim ordinary wine, Mishum Nesegos of daughters, who it is. Sorry, I didn't read it right. Sorry. Shloima, read it again. The Vada Ika Gseira, surely the main decree, the Stam Yenim, Mishum Nesegos. The main decree, why? The main decree on wine, an ordinary wine, is because they're daughters. That's the goal, that's the Ika. Me, however, they wouldn't prohibit the wine with pleasure, with benefit because of this reason. Why? Like their bread and oil. That they made only decree on eating, not benefiting. What? So there's no such strong derived to the daughters. Okay? So you can say, very good, by the way, the Ramban says this, what you said now. The Ramban doesn't hold like Toysers. It's not like Toysers, we'll see a whole different thing, but some people say, like you said, that Piton v'Shimnon, lo kol kach mishum leisem, only big chash of daughters. But John is a real chash of daughters, it burns. So when there's a real chash of daughters, they said, okay, it will be isu, a complete isu. When it's not a real chash of daughters, so then they make an isu of, there's more to it, we'll see in the Ramban. Right.
Because it can go together.
One chain.
When you go to the Seudah,
But it's not on the same level, he could say, he
they
said.
don't fight just somebody they going. They don't start with the pita, hummus, avakado, yain, yain.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, one beer.
Okay. Elo obdu rabbonon kiyai nesech gomu. Listen carefully. The rabbis made ordinary wine like a complete wine. Shenisnasech la'avodah zarah, that is being poured on Avodah Zarah. She'osu min ha'toyos mishum detomile, because it's similar to it. I'm asking you guys, rabbis, Talmidei Chachomim, what does it mean in Toyos? Toyos says, because, again, first of all, we have to pick up the key words in Tosfot. Number one, he says Ikar. When I said the word Ikar means, what does the word Ikar mean? Essential, main. So the main decree, Toyos made a statement. The main decree is because of their daughters. But he says, daughters alone, I won't prohibit with pleasure. So why they ate it pleasure? Because they gave it, rabbis made like Yain Nesech. The rabbi made this ordinary wine like Yain Nesech. Why? What's the reason? There's a few words. Mishum, because tetomile is similar to it. Now, what does that mean? I can have two options, and I want you guys to choose one of the options. One option is because they're similar, if you're going to be lenient to this wine, people will also be lenient on the real wine of Nesech. So to protect Yain Nesech, because they're similar, we prohibit also Ba'anon. Second options. The rabbis made ordinary wine like Yain Nesech because it's similar. So what is similar? Because they're similar, so they prohibit. Because people do sometimes menasech Yain Nesech. So 10%, 5%. So the rabbis will not really worry for it because it's not something the guys is only a shash given. But because they're similar, they gave it the same deen, similar. People should mix in their mind. So because there's the same worry, although Yain is a real Yain Nesech and he is a chash, and the rabbis were not choishesh on their own, Because it's similar, they put the chash there. There's a third possibility too, and there's a fourth possibility too. I'm talking about the two possibilities I gave. Decide in Tosis what is the pshat. Don't give me your third possibility. The two possibilities makes a decision is, you say a third possibility, but those two eliminate. Can you eliminate again? I gave two possibilities. I want you to eliminate one of them. You say third possibility. Prove me to eliminate that. Toisa says the Ikar Takona was because of their daughters. That's the Ikar. That's the main. Then he says that's only Isurano, only prohibit to get the right benefit. Shtia, made a mistake in the word. It's only Isur Shtia. It's only prohibit to drink. The rabbis will not prohibit more than that, like we see by bread and drink and oil. Why the rabbis made it like Yain Esech? Because it's similar to Yain Esech. Because it's similar, the rabbis prohibit also this bano. Why? Because it's similar. Because if you're going to be lenient here and it's similar to there, people also be lenient also there. So we want to protect Yain Esech. One option. Second option is, cause Yain is a strong thing, makes people happy, and it puts people together. What? Taking an admission, and there's a slight worry that maybe 5%, whatever it is, maybe the menasech Yain Esech. And since it's similar to Yain Esech, real Yain Esech, similar, and here's a small option. So the rabbi said, because it's similar, and there's a small possibility, maybe that's what happened, and it's a serious thing. I'm throwing a lot of smoke. It's a serious thing. Could be without, I don't need all of them, because it's a serious thing. So that's why the rabbis prohibit also ma'ano. Before, you see, guys, not answer me quickly. Let's see Toises in Daf Yudchet in Shabbos. We have it in the papers. Second page. Toises in Daf Yudchet in Maseches Shabbos. This is our Toises. Page here we saw. Page 29b in Avodah Zarah. Now we're looking on page 17b in Maseches Shabbos. It's on the second page. Al piton v'shimno mishum yainom. The rabbis prohibit the bread and oil because of their wine. Iksho Rivo, the Rivo asked, Maishno, what's the difference? Sheichmiru tfei, they will machmir more. B'yayin, wine, le'eso ba'anor, to prohibit to get benefit. Mipad v'shemen, from bread and oil. Why by bread and oil they only prohibit to drink? And by wine they prohibit more, even benefit. So our Toisa says, you know why they hit it more? Because it's similar to Yain Esech. Domile, right? Let's see what Toisa says there. V'tiretz. This is the Rivo. V'tiretz. Mipnei shayayin mesameach Elohim v'anashim. Because wine makes God and people happy. God in the altar, people in the feast. And goyim were accustomed to pour its service in front of their gods, afilu shalom b'fnei nochi, even not in front of the galach, the priest. Oil sins. Since they had to prohibit it because of the daughters, as somebody says, a big drive. It's a big drive, burns. It's a big drive, and I had to prohibit wine because of the daughters. The rabbis gave in it the law and the strictness of real Yain Esech. Why? Because it's similar. Came on sins, the Pa'omi Menaschim Oisoi, since sometimes they do Yain Esech, Afilu Shalom even in front of the Galach. So that's why they prohibit it. Let's go back to our Toises. Toises says the main reason is what? Because of their daughters. That's Ika. But that is only shtia, drinking. Should be like bread and oil. But because it's similar to yain nesech, because it's similar to domile, they prohibit. So I'm asking. Question again. 1 second. I say the first and second, and you tell me which one. One option is because similar to yain nesech, and yain nesech is prohibited no. So in order to protect yain nesech, they prohibit here also because of the also no, to protect, because it's similar to yain nesech. Of the Rabbanon ki yain nesech go, because it's similar. They gave it a tin of yain nesech because it's similar to yain nesech. Why it's similar? By bread, you have two types of bread. Bread of a bakery, in palter we call it, or bread of balabait. You don't jump, they have different shapes, they look different. Wine of yain nesech and wine of stam yainim looks different, Rabbi Yisachar. They look the same. They don't look different. Same wine. So therefore what? Don't recondition it. So the domi. So we gave it the chumrah of yain nesech to protect yain nesech, or what Riva says in Maseches Shabbos. What's the reason the rabbis gave it the din? Listen to Siyat Shmai. They gave it the din of yain nesech because sometimes they menasech it. So you, Rebero, you brought me Toises, so you want to combine it with Rashi, right? Because you learned in Toises like who? Like the Riva, right? That what? That the main reason is what? I say it. And the rabbis were Machmir, gave it the din of yain nesech because it's similar. Similar means because it's similar and some worry, and the rabbis saw and because people sometimes the custom was to menasech even not in front of the galach, not of the priest. So that's why, because it's similar and some connection, not because it's similar, somewhat is similar. Why the Rivo needs to add? Because it's similar and there is Regilus of yain nesech, that's why they made a decree. If it's similar and I want to protect what it's similar to, I don't need the reason of a Rivo, right? But if Toises by us said Rebero, by Toises the domile, Mishum the domile. Our Toises Haftet says the domile. Toises they didn't say domile. I want to protect that. He says because sometimes the menasech, the connection link to give it the chumrah of yain nesech, because sometimes they know I won't give it normally because it's only a chash. And the main reason is that we have to protect the daughters. To get rid of the daughters, so we have to give isurim and wine. I won't do that isur on my own, but I already given isur. I extended the isur because there's some chashash. To start, to go over and open the tik, it's a file. Just because of chashash, a 5%, they won't open a file for isur or no. But the file is anyhow there because the isur and some worry there is there because some menasech. So they extending it. This is what tastes in Shabbos. What tastes by us? That's the Rivo.
Shabbos, mashma the chashash b'atchala was the yain nesech, the Avodah Zarah, and the gezeir of the Nesehem come after. First of all,
Yes. That's the main there. I don't care about that. But both are the main. The issue is Moiseiim. But the added issue, what's the reason? Because we want to protect yain nesech, or because there's a chashi adil menasech. What? The Noraisa, that's a question. I think like Rabbi Socho. I think yes, because since Toshas didn't add what the Rivo added, that the Rogil Menasech, like Rashi says, Dil Menasech, the Rogil Menasech, Rashi Toshas just said because it's similar. Yeah, the main thing is what I say. But Eichus, the Ikar Eichus, Ika, whatever Ika means, could be Eichus Kamos, that's the Ika. But they added Isura no because it's similar to Yain Esek. So what is similar to Domile? So what's Domile? You need a more explanation. There's enough with that. They're satisfied with that. That shows like the Ran. Well, let's see the Ran inside. Just give a peek. It's in the second page in the Ran. What? Let's see the Ran. The Ran says clearly the words. Yes. Yes. True. I'm reading now the Ran. Ran is in the second page you guys have. And once we have two shitas, we have Toras and Shabbos. And we have Toras here, or we have the Ran on one side. Okay? And other Yisrael on the other side. I want to know, today in Europe, when the Goyim don't worship idols, they don't do Yain Esek, there will be nafkim those two shitas or not. So I want to make a nafkim there between them. Let's see in a second. But first, let's summarize what the Ran holds. I'm reading the Ran inside. One second. I'm not jumping there. First, I want to see what the Ran says. V'im toima, meaning the tois, the Ran. V'im toima doche mashma. This time yenom nesem shum letod yain esek. In page 29 is mashma that ordinary wine is prohibited because the warrior or because the reasoning of yain esek. You look, come on, page 36. I'm reading on. The Mishum Gzeras Moisem Nesas to decide. Is Yain Esek the worry, or the worry is the daughters? The Ran answers. V'yeshloima, siyata nishmai. V'yeshloima. De'ila mishum losa the Yain Esek. If it wasn't for the reason of Yain Esek, mistaya was enough lemeisra to prohibit b'shtir drinking. Mishum noiseyem. If it was only, if it wasn't for Yain Esek, because of the daughters are only prohibited with drinking. Do you mean Peter Mashim similar to bread and oil? Aval keivan, but since the yain shenisnasech, wine that was nisnasech, fana yosobano, a real yain nesech is definitely yosobano. Utzrachnu, we were required. Yitzchak, utzrachnu required. Your name is Yitzchak, right? Utzrachnu leesoy to prohibit af stam yainam. Even ordinary wine, even with pleasure. Even though the real Isra was only the daughters. If we only kept the Isra only to drinking, though they will see it, so even they will think to say, they won't say the reason the daughters. They say the real Yain Esek. Ordinary wine we pray because of the daughters. But if people think, oh, you know why he's not drinking? Because of Yain Esek. Yet, they get benefit. We want to protect Yain Esek. We come to permit. Even Vala Yain Esek with pleasure. So to protect Yain Esek, they prohibit because it's similar to it. They prohibit it. Therefore, they want to put all the wine equal because all wine is the same. There's no wine of bread of a bakery and a bread of an ordinary person. This shape, that shape. All wine the same. They want to put all wine together. Okay. Stop. So what do we got? We got here B'siyata Vishmaya, Machloikes, Toises, and Shabbos, which is the Rivo, and Lichoiro Toises by us, which is, looks like the Ran. But even you don't hold my Pshat and Toises like the Ran, but we have two Rishonim. The Rivo, and we have the Ran. There's a third possibility here for you, Rabbi Feisher. Yeah? I don't know if he's still around. Rabbi Feisher, listen. So the third possibility, we're going to say the third possibility was the Ramban, and maybe you have a fourth. I'm more than happy to hear your fourth possibility if it's maybe it's part of the third. So there's only three. I'll read the Ramban quickly to the point, and then we have some time. I want to summarize the three opinions and ask the question today in Europe, the Christians that don't menasech if the Gzera fell off. We have Rashbo and Meiri and Rashi we put in that the two Gzeras and the Gzeras maybe nisnasech. There's no chash of nisuk. The Gzera falls off of this one. At that time in Europe. Yeah? Ordinary do yain nesach. I know, but they don't take. They do it at home. I don't know. That's the point. I never saw. I also never saw. It seems to be that it's the same thing as in America. At home, they don't do. They don't do. They're very religious. It's a religious thing to give Khan once a week. They what the priest wants to do. They're barely. They're not involved. No, they don't do it. No, they do it every week in front of the priest. Not at home. When you go to you ever went to those big stores with thousands of whiskeys and wine? I was there a couple of years ago. Abel Kleiman, he took me in St. Louis. I couldn't believe big warehouses I never saw in my life. Giant, thousands of different, tens of thousands, 4 meters up, barrels of wine. You can buy what you want. People come with pickup trucks. They come with a pickup truck to buy all those. Woo! See those guys with a cowboy's hat, big long ponytail. They come with a pickup truck and they come down and they take all those different types of whiskey. They all smile and enjoy and they choose. You have all those people running after you. Choose what you want and pay with a credit card. That's it. You won't believe it. You won't believe it. What? Woo! What? Rock and roll. Guys, so let's go back to us. So we have, I wanted to do now the Ramban. We have Toises and Shabbos. We have Toises here, which I think says clean like the Ran. We have Toises Shabbos and the Ran. Our Toises I think is like the Ran. And now I'm going to see the Ramban, the third possibility. And then I want to start grinding according to your understanding if the reasoning of Yain Nesach falls off today, does the Gzeira of Anoah falls off? If it's one Gzeira and the main Gzeira stays, maybe it should fall off. Still stays. Right? But if I'm not talking about the main or minor, and my saying is, if it, definitely according to the Ran, that I want to protect Yain Nesach, what do I care? So I want to protect Yain Nesach, right? Yain Nesach, real Yain Nesach. I want people to women out. So what do I care that people today don't do Yain Nesach? It was a worry of Yain Nesach. People are not customs, know what to worry. They only do it to the priest. But if I want to protect the Yain Nesach of the priest of the Sunday, the Gzeira should still be there. Right? The Gzeira should be there. Okay. So now it will be the nafkaminas. Let's see now the Ramban again. The first page we have the Ramban, and we summarize the sugya halacha l'maaseh. Yes. Or the Jewish rabbi, that takes the Jewish congregation, the Jewish congregation to see the Pentecostal church, the fish. Who knows what they give? They drink and eat there. What? Who knows what it's not? Yes. You're laughing, but those things are real. Right over here. Yeah. Shem Yishmor. Right. Let's see. And then we want to see what's the halacha l'maaseh. What's halacha l'maaseh today? We're not just learning Gemara and Iyun. We have to, after we're going to summarize all the opinions and according to Shita, what will be today the halacha l'maaseh. Want to know what's the halacha l'maaseh today? Let's see the Ramban. The Ramban, it's in the first page of the Diaspora Yeshiva pages. 2, 4, 5 lines on the top. And the Diaspora Yeshiva papers. 2, 4, 6 lines on the top. Comes the Ramban and says, to me, it looks the pshat as follows. As the Gemara says in page 22, if it was true that he designated for Avodah Zarah, they will never sell it to you. Or Chanami here also. If he really poured in front of Avodah Zarah, will never sell it to you. Will never sell it to you. Ilka, conclusion. The Ramban erases Pshat of Rashi, Dilma Menasek. The Ramban erases the Rivo that they made a decree of Isurano because some people are Menasech. So they added this Isur Shtir like Nisur Yain because some people are Menasech. Why? Even if you're Menasech, we'll never sell it to you. So there's no worry, maybe this thing is Menasech. There's no worry at all. What? Wrong. Wrong. Because the Ramban holds us the same. Okay, you have to prove that. I know what the Ramban says. Elo mishum noiseyem, only because of the daughters who the goes of the Rabbanon. Inami, I'm jumping in one line. Inami, ikelemema. The Gzeira helps. Le'echat yatinan v'ada lo nisech. We know for sure there's no nisuch. How? Kegon magor shelo bechavono. The nisuch b'asoicher. If a goy touches my wine without intention, the Gemara in Asoicher in Avodah Zarah says that if somebody touches wine without intention, we know he had no intention of Avodah Zarah because he touched it by mistake, thinking of Avodah Zarah, of Nisu. Again, so the Ramban brings two svores why we have to wipe out those opinions that holds that the Stam Yenom, the reason why it was prohibited to drink is because maybe they did Yain Nesach. That maybe doesn't exist. Or because if they really did it, will never sell it to you. Or never share it with you, never give it to you. It's important for them. Number two, we talk about all wine, even your wine that he just touched without no intention. You know for sure there was no Yain Nesach. Because he touched with no intention. Yeah, there's also. It's all part of the Isu. We'll see the Gemara later on. So it's all part of the Isu. So it's all part of the Isu. So whereas you can't say Chash of Nisu. You can say it is Chash, and then they added it, but in Svori holds us wrong. Therefore what? Oh. Now he comes to say what it isn't. What is yes? That's the Sita. Umishum Benoiseyem, because of their daughters, because they made a decree. Because of their daughters that is be burning on you, they say, listen, don't drink their wine in their parties, because you might run after daughters. So why, if the whole Ksega is only daughters, so why our Gemara speaks about Yain Nesach? That's not the subject, Yain Nesach. Shabbos, daughters, you made a mistake. The rabbi didn't scream on the right point. It's not that. It's the daughters, right? So why do the Gemara talk about Avodah Zarah here? She says no. And listen, this is the punchline, the next 7 words. Mishum, because they call the Tikkun Rabbanon. There's a rule. Whenever the rabbis made a decree, made a decree, Adoraisa Samchile. This is very important. They rely on Doraisa. This is a very important rule, which we see in all of Shas. You hear this, Yosef? The rabbis don't make up new prohibitions. The rabbis copy or extend the same prohibition of Doraisa to the rabbinic. And if the Doraisa prohibition is not to the right benefit, which includes drinking, but more, not the right benefit, the rabbis, if that's the Torah, the rabbis will not make a new decree only drinking. They don't make up new prohibitions. They copy the prohibition, they extend the prohibition, they put railing and boundaries to the prohibition, but they don't make new prohibitions. Yes. They didn't decree of pleasure only because they found an Isu by a real wine of Avodah Zarah, that the Isu is also pleasure. You know the word talulema? They hang to say, hang means the dependent to say. Shemon is naser, maybe was neser, but he is a tricky. The Ramban is tricky. I want to explain what the Ramban is saying. Listen carefully. The Ramban says really the reason why ordinary wine is prohibited. Ordinary wine. Why ordinary wine is prohibited to drink? Because the daughters. The prohibition comes from the daughters. And the rabbis don't make new decrees. And to prevent daughters is enough just to drink. But why they also prohibit pleasure to right benefit? because they don't make new prohibitions. They have to find copy in the prohibition. Since they found in the Doraisa, they have to say on Doraisa. In the Eastern Doraisa, by real wine nesech, which is not, you were talking about daughters, not nesech, but wine and wine. No. Because we find that by real wine nesech, they prohibit, the Isur is a type of Isur. What type of prohibition is even Ano? So see here, they said, it's also Ba'ano Minatoira, and they said, they told them, and we to say, you know our worry? Maybe it's this Tasa. But not that they're really worried. They're not worried for the 5%, 10%, maybe it was Nesek. They just, in order not to make a joke out of the decree, they have to make, they can't make a new Isurim, and they not just make Isur just on Shtir, because the Isur and Teres are both, those are no, also pleasure. That's a miuta. But they said, no, you know why? We gave them because it's similar, and we say, Shema Nistaseh. This is a type of Isur of maybe Nistaseh. You know, it's not a real word Nistaseh. It's only clear to explain the decree. But the real decree is because called the Rabbon Doraisa Tikkun. The Rabbon needs to be a format of Doraisa. The type is of Doraisa, which similar to it, Yain, and so this is Isur Ma'ano. So the Rabbi told them when they made the decree, they explained to the nation the Isur was Shema maybe Nisasa, but they weren't worried for Isur. Banos only. Only Banos. Yes. Why? Because they want to put an Isur because of the boilers. They want to oyster the wine. Which type of Isur we found on wine? Shtir. No. On wine we found Isur Ano. The rabbis came and say, I want to prohibit wine because of the daughters. Can't make a new Isur Shtir because a new Isur. But since they found on wine, by real Yain Nesech, and a different story, Yain Nesech, they found Isur on wine and Ano too, so they made a copy paste. So when I prohibit wine because of the daughters, it's the same type of Isur, but it's not the same. This is Avodah Zarah and it's the daughters. Tolu Loima, they explained the Gzeret to the Am. Shema Nistasem. It's not really Shashav Nistasem. 1 second, that's the next point. Well, they went to the end. Mashe'en can pitom v'shin, but by bread, why they gave only drinking? It's a new Isur. Listen what he says. Really, even the takon of Noiseim, you hear this from some people said, maybe you said in the beginning. Rabbi Shmuel said it. Even the daughters is not a worry only through wine. Eating bread and drinking the oil, he says, it's not common so much to worry to the daughters because the bread and oil. Real thing is the wine that burns. That's a shash. The bars, you don't need in bars bread and oil. The parties is about wine, right? They don't have parties with bread and oil. They think you're a freak. You want to be healthy, health freak or something. Nobody will come to the party. They want oil, they want wine, right? So therefore he says, even by Piton Shima Shlokon, the cooking, the bread, and the oil, which all we're going to learn, each one is a separate sugi on his own, Besat Hashem. Learn each one on one, Besat Hashem. Give us the Siyat Nishma. So the bread, the oil, and the cooking things that the rabbis prohibit, all those prohibition, it's not a real worry of Noiseim. There's no worry of no nesek there. Even though somebody showing yes, they do bring the matzah, the bread, and then okay, that's a shayach, we have to deal with it. But he says there's no motzui, there's no shayach of nesek oil, they don't menasek oil, they don't menasek cooking things. No shayach, and Noisem is also not shayach. This is Rabbi Shlomo Zam, he's not here. He's here. He says the whole decree of bread, oil, and the cooking is because of wine. And yain is because of the daughters. And he cannot make a new isur, so they put her on yain hesed. You don't worry, it's not a worry. No, that's not Yatz Yosva, that's your svara. Rabbi, no. Rabbi Shlomo, no. No, you made it up. No. That's where he starts. He brings the Rashbam, his Miudol Shchiach, Raive, no. He says, he brings, they won't sell it to you. They touch you. He said, there's no chash of yain nesech. It's only the way the rabbis, a lot of times the rabbis make an asmachta. So the Ritva in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, page 16 says, what is asmachta? Asmachta, there's two types of asmachtas. Hear this, Eliyahu, for you have to know this. One asmachta means they found a hint in the Torah. But the other asmachta, which is a lot of asmachtas, is to keep away the Amiratzi from bothering you. Here it is, I'm joking, but he says the Amiratzi, where's it in the Torah to wear kippah? You have to explain the Torah. It says they found a hint in the, that doesn't really say that, right? So just, right, whatever it is. So where they find a smachta to push away. So they say, you know why yain, you know why stam yain was also to even benefit? Because maybe nistasech. People don't think more. Like you tell baby, why? They ask you, why? Why not allowed? Abba, why? Because it makes him happy. Or you give him some, not a full reason, right? It makes him happy. That's a meratzim. Shema nisnasech. Tolu lo imam. No chashav nisu. Don't worry, there's not enough in the barometer of the rabbis to miss. In the barometers of rabbis, there's not enough to make a decree. But to explain to the nation, they explain to them what's the real reason of the rabbis? Because they can't make new isurim. Can't make new prohibitions. Only copy is the same type of isu. And I want to explain one more thing before I go on to the Ika. Where does it say no words? The kasha is no shayach, and then mishum da'ach tzelo masbin lei is no, and he says more than vaday. He says the word lechen in a vaday. He says the word vaday. So vaday means vaday, zero. No, he didn't say your words. He said the adin on vaday lo nisech. Vaday is vaday. Don't make me vaday. There's a chash of miut of Avodah Zarah. You say so, 2 lines before. That's his whole point. Vaday. So what is it? Tolu loima. I think the pshat is to tell the people. Yes, that's what I think the pshat. Maybe you can learn a different pshat, but that's what I think the pshat is. Yes.
The Raisa was why they didn't serve bread and shemen the hana. They would have wanted to do that also, but they can't do that.
Why didn't do it? Because there's no daughters.
They wanted it's all. I agree that it's all the notes, but maybe the point is that they can usher the wine bahana because of the nose, but they can't usher the bread because of the nose. Because bread doesn't have there's no Easter hana with bread.
Why not? You can always. I know, but why not? Why don't prohibit bread with? But if you already prohibit, why are you making a new issue? Why are you making a new issue? By bread. Yes.
Why would they want to?
Yes. No, why they make a new issue of shtia? That was a question, right? Yes.
I understand. That's how the Rosh Yeshiva learned it.
Sometimes say, so give me your possibility. Answer me those questions.
So there's lots of things that are usher to eat. It's not usher to eat, usher to drink. That's
okay, good.
That's what about yain of truma? It's usher to drink. Lots of yain is
yes.
To drink. But the Isra Hana is new.
Good. So
that it's only shy by yain to put in Isra Hana, but by the bread it wasn't shy.
Why is shy by wine to put Isra Hana?
There is such a thing as the Isra Hana.
Okay, good. So I'm saying the same thing.
So
it's not a real chash because they found it in Isra. And why by bread I don't pour it because there's no, it's not the same Isra. Even bread is not bonois. That's his big kiddush. Why stam yainam is because the daughters, and why isurano because we found isurano by isur wine. Bread, if I've always said also because of bonois, so I didn't find all the isurs to be also ano. He says no, the bread is not bonois. Bread is because of the wine, and wine is because of the bonois. It's already one step away. That's what he can issue. But if I do bonois, so I cannot make a new Islam. That's the original. That's the original. The original. I have to format of I have to carve Isu of the Torah to put it here. So yes.
This mechanism of kind of cheating the nation, saying it's the issue of Yain Neser, and so the nation says, oh, I can't sell it. it's because other way, if you just forbid it what they're saying, they're gonna say, oh,
Explain what's it. It's not tricking the people. I thought you're a Talmud Chochem, and that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Joking. I tell you what I mean. It means like this. It's not, I hope people don't get me wrong. If the video goes, not our subject now, but we'll spend some time in it, although I didn't get to the Ikar Mishir. It's very important to know. And you have to give the nation a svor which is nois laseichen, makes sense to them. Has to be, if a rabbi's made a decree, has to make sense. So when they have two options, they give you more sensible but not really a worry, or their rabbinic real worry doesn't make sense to the people. What I cannot make my new decree. I only have to copy the Torah. Rabbis, be a man, make your decision. I mean, they can't grab this rule. So they gave him the rule, the svara, which is not their real worry, in order to make them happy or be acceptable. They will keep the Torah in an acceptable way. That's not the real reason. That's what it means. Look in the Ritvan, Tetzayin Rosh Hashanah. It's the subject we learn on his own. Let's go back to us. So now we want to summarize the halacha. Comes Rashi and brings Shuvas HaGeonim that today the Christians in Europe, America, and all around the world don't do any more yain nesach. So what's the law halacha l'maaseh? So let's summarize the shitot we have, and I want to think together with Zat Hashem, according to each reasoning, will be halacha l'maaseh. Okay? So we had Rashbo, Meiri, and Rashi. I would say Rashi, Meiri, Rashi, Rashbo, and Meiri. If I put them all together, there's two decrees, and the decree of Anor is Shema Nisnasech. Maybe it was Nisad Chashash of Nisuch. If there's no Chashash of Nisuch anymore, it falls off, right? But according to Tosfos, that it's one decree, and the Ikar. Remember the word of Tosfos, Ikar decree is B'nai. That's the main. And they added, because it's similar to Yain Nesech, they added a svara of Yain Nesech. So now if the svara, so one second. So if it's to protect Yain Nesech, so it doesn't matter that the ordinary people don't do Yain Nesech anymore. It wasn't because it was a Yain Nesech. In Stam Yainom, we worried that some intervene of Yain Nesech in there. It's only to protect Yain Nesech of the priest that now we should keep away from. That exists. So it made should never be canceled, even today in Europe. So according to the Ran, and if we put Tosfos in the Ran, the decree shall stay. But according to the Riva, if the main decree is B'nai. And the reason why we prohibit ordinary wine, Stam Yainam, is because they found out that people started to do Yain Nesech in the ordinary wine, not in front of the priest. So the rabbis worried to that mute because of the extension. If it was only that, they wouldn't. But since they need to pray because of the daughters, that's the main reason. So already they opened the file. So to add more, another Isur Anor, because there's some chashash, the rabbis don't care to add more because that chashash exists. But there's a real chashash that they were in the extension. But if that chashash falls off, then what? I'll cancel the extension? Or I said, since the main Xer is there, so the extension still stays. That's something like I can debate. It's not as small as I have a small lekan or lekan. It's not bold to me, right? So, according to the Ramban, so this we had Rashi, Rashbo, that falls off. Tosfos, according to the Ran, doesn't fall off. According to Tosfos in the Riva, also the Svor lekan can have a sofik. But according to the Ramban, which is the fourth possibility, the Ramban says that the main decree is the daughters. And the rabbis prohibit Ba'anor because they cannot form new prohibitions. They have to find a prohibition in Torah. So they told the people of Yain Nesech, it's not doing Yain Nesech, they do the daughters, and they found Isur in the Torah. So what do I care that the Christians don't do to the Avodah Zarah? Still stays. So the only way, the Svara of Rashi and the Goyim, that because the Christians don't do Avodah Zarah today, to prohibit Stam Yainom, is only according to the Rashba, and maybe according to Tosfos in Shabbos Yudchet. Not Tosfos here, not the Ran, and definitely not the Ramban. Now we're gonna la 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 la. Ay, la, la, la. Hey, ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 la. Ay, la, 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 ay, la, la, la. All what I told you is all written inside. I mean, when you're going to read it now, reread it, you'll see it's all written inside. And my only chidushim is in Rashi, to put it like the Rashba, and in Toises the Soul, Toises and Shabbos, Toises here, those are my kvetches, my chidushim. But the groups are there. And they all talk about which group where it belongs to. And you have to see what the Shulchan Aruch paskins. I will read the Shulchan Aruch in the last page, just to summarize the halacha. And I'm doing this because I want to summarize it. I want Sunday and Monday, people should still summarize this. Maybe I'll send up new chidushim and new achronim about it, a little bit to extend and make it more. But I wanted people to summarize and know it well. So all the achronim are showing what's the halacha l'maaseh. Okay? Maybe we're going to put some more lumdis to it in next week. So I don't know what will be next week, Thursday shiur. Will be a summarized halacha through the achronim, or we'll start a new subject. I'm more noite, my more tilting to summarize more and look more of the achronim on it. And I just want to read the Shulchan Aruch. Read the Shulchan Aruch on the last page. Shulchan Aruch Yeredeya Ilchos Yain Nesach Siman Kuf Chav Gimel Sif Aleph. Stam Yeinam, ordinary wine, Osur Shalok Yechoim Osur Ma'ano. Ordinary wine of goyim are prohibited with pleasure. V'hu adin, the same thing, lemagom, if they touch. B'yaim shalom, in the last page. You guys don't have it? I just started Shulchan Aruch. Ordinary wine of goyim, stamina of goyim, is prohibited with pleasure. And the same thing when they touch yain shalom, when they touch our wine. Why? Doesn't say why. The Shulchan Aruch gives us a reason. No. It could be all the Rishonim. Shulchan Aruch is very, very strong. So I'm not going to go into reason. It could be Rashba, right? The Gzeira maybe Menasech, Rashi, Rashba. Gzeira maybe Nisasech. Two Gzeiras in Nisasech. It could be one Gzeira, and the main thing is Moiseyim, and to protect Yainesech. Could be one Gzeira of Moiseyim, and they needed what? We need a Doraisa like the Ramban, or because wine is so strong, and they worried, and maybe some that they added to the B'Nisayim, the word of Ninasech, the Isurano. All those words be all true. And therefore, I would say, according to the Sephardi, Yain Nesech today, 2024, or 1700s, Yain Nesech in Europe, Rabbi, according to the Gzeras Yain, Shenisnasech Le'elilim. He tells you a reason. You know why ordinary wine is also bad? No. Because Gzera of wine that's been poured for Elilim, not because we need Ken Doraisa, like the Ramban. And it's not because Ran, Toises. And it's not because we need the format of the Doraisa like the Ramban. The Ramban is off, right? Ramban is off. We now have Ken Doraisa. It's off. The Ran and Toises and Avodah Zarah are also off because they say it's to protect Yain Nesech. No, it's like Toises and Shabbos Yudches, Mishum, or like Rashi, or Rashi and Rashba, or Toises and Yudches and Shabbos. Mishum Gzeras Yain Shenisna Le'elim. The decree is because wine has been Nesech Te'elim. Bisman Hazeh nowadays. She'eino Shchiach is not coming. Sha'umos Menaschin Avodas Kochovim. It's not common that going pour wine to Avodas Kochovim, only by the priest, but not ordinary. Yes, some people say 2 steps. The mago, if going touch our wine, is not prohibited with pleasure, only drinking. That's much more lower level. What about now they're touching us? Can I buy in those big department stores 4 meters high? Can I buy wine there? Yellowtail yain, wine. Can I buy? V'chen stam yain shelem. Ordinary wine of them also is permitted. What? Ain't also not to pleasure. Pleasure, not drinking. Pleasure. It's only also about b'shtia, not pleasure. You can collect your debts from going ordinary wine. What the Misharev said. Like you already bought it. And you did buy it, did isu. Also to buy and sell to make money. Already have said it's allowed. Or to collect your debts. So here the Ramo contracted. He says, since there's no gzeira, I can buy any wine, even any benefit. I want to give gifts. Beginning says, Stam yain was now no isul also. Then he says, therefore, you're allowed to collect a few debts because she's saving. He says, Tu b'shem Rashbam veRosh Mordechai v'adin efsed. Aval lechatchila also linos be'organ is daraboy. Agois mamoini. He destroyed. Then he says, Ve'esh vakilim gam bazeh. Now those are lenient even lechatchila to make money. Can you own a department store of whiskeys and ordinary wine? Can you own a share? Rabbi Eliyahu, can you own a share in a chain that sells wine? Machloket. Yes, omrim. Some people say yes, only Ashkenazim, only with what? Only if b'diavad, not lechatchila. You inherit that money, it's okay. You already invest, okay, but you're not lechatchila. But yesh making know that those are permitted totally. It's out, doesn't exist today. V'tarif, and it's good la'achmir. Go to be strict. It's only strict. Good to be strict. But what's the karadin? What's the main halacha? It's allowed. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah.